Next chapter in our journey, the stories of mental health are changing. Or as I like to say, mental health, it's not what you think. Who better to lead off this chapter than comedian, actor, radio host, and mental health activist who has a new podcast on meditation called Above the Noise. You all know this person, Russell Brand, who puts complex topics into words like no one else I know. Please welcome Russell.
Hello, and thanks for having me at the Never Alone Global Summit. Although, never alone, what a terrifying idea. What, bedtime? What, when I wake up in the morning, clean my teeth? Never alone, as in never lost on a peninsula of despair without someone to communicate with or talk to. But sometimes necessarily alone. Alone with God. In the deepest aloneness within myself, there is no me, and I'm completely safe. I'm not attacking the title of your summit. I'm just tormenting you because I'm a comedian. One thing I do for my mental health is regularly eat bananas. You just got to get that potassium in you. It might not be the only solution, but it can certainly be part of it. Forgive me. I've not had an opportunity to eat banana because I'm frankly never bloody alone. There's always someone on me. Okay, so thank you, Deepak, for inviting me to participate in this. I love you. I'm inspired by you continually. Thank you. Now, I only need one of these points. What do we talk about when we talk about mental health? We talk about spirituality. Mental health, if you ask me, is a spiritual rather than a psychotherapeutic problem, although psychotherapy, of course, can be part of a solution. Mental health, for me, is about dealing with awareness, about acknowledging blockages. My own mental health and the despair I've occasionally felt is best dealt with through, yes, communion, never being alone, or at least feeling like I'm a member of a tribe, in my case a 12-step tribe of, also in my case, males that help one another using the principles of the 12 steps, principles such as gratitude, acceptance, surrender, mutual support, inventorying, honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, all vital principles, holding one another to account on those, which isn't always an easy process, but continues for me to be a necessary one. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about suicide because I know that if you could say the apex of mental health dysfunction or of despair is making that decision to take your own life, of entering to a state where you believe things are so bad there's no way back for you, there is no conclusion, as it's rather glibly called, a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Now, a while ago I did a verbatim piece with the Old Vic Theatre about mental health, and the piece I did was constructed from last words of men that had taken their own lives. Some of them were text messages, some of them were emails, some of them were old-fashioned notes. What struck me when reading these men's final words, presumably, let's say, men with mental health challenges, because if you end your own life, unless you think that's a viable solution, you would have to say that is a pretty serious mental health problem. What struck me when reading their final words was not how extraordinary the words were, but how ordinary they were. The challenges they faced were normal challenges. I don't mean to diminish the challenges they faced. They were serious challenges also, but I mean ordinary, regular, frequent. I'm worried that I can't take care of my finances. I'm worried that I can't take care of myself and my family. I don't see a way out of this. All things that are points I've felt in my own life. I feel that the line that separates people that take their own lives from those that don't or have not yet is a blurry, wavy, thin line. That mental health is something that we all are a part of. That despair, sadness, fear, jealousy, rage, these are all normal parts of the human experience. Now let's face it, if you want my honest opinion, you can't extract these problems from the context in which they occur, i.e., civilization. We have created conditions which exacerbate mental health problems. That, for me, seems to be the plain truth. When a culture continually stimulates lower aspects of our nature, or, what do I want to say, not necessarily lower, animal aspects of our nature, sexuality, lust, greed, powerful motivating impulses and instincts, if used in alignment with the context that we're in, appetites and culture this is evolution. Appetite and environment, drive and environment, mutation and adaptation. But When you live in a culture that continually makes you feel that you're missing out, that continually suggests to you that the solution to your problem is available through commodity, that continually suggests to you that you have to achieve a certain financial standard, a certain ideological standard presented to you, not as a result of spiritual endeavour, research, reflection and meditation, but as a result of certain economic imperatives that benefit primarily a small group of people at the top of these institutions, then we have a challenge. A serious mental health challenge. For me, the solution to the problem of culture and the impact of cultural goals on the psyche of ordinary people is to enter into a kind of monasticism, a kind of secular, if not secular, contemporary hermitage, to develop spiritual practice, to belong to communities that have aims and goals that are not financial, that are not about domination, but that are about unity and togetherness, to spend time in your own life away from the aims and goals of your culture. Often I ask, why is that in there? E.g. these men whose suicide notes, texts and emails I read, what was it that told them they weren't good enough? Where did that idea come from? This financial standard and the requirements, the burdens placed upon them, who put those burdens there and to what end? Many of us increasingly find ourselves as a kind of, find ourselves as surplus to the requirements of our culture. What is homelessness? What are private prisons other than a adjunct to the mismanagement and bad ideologies of our times? We can't look after everybody. Some people are spilled on the streets. We can't look after everyone. Let's monetize the prisons. This is the manifestation of an spiritual culture, or worse even, a spiritually negative culture. Yes, we must pursue spiritual goals as individuals, but they can only really be achieved collectively. So perhaps the name for this endeavour, the You Are Never Alone initiative, is a prudent one, because, yeah, we are never alone. Perhaps in some ways we ought never be alone. Perhaps we will always be accompanied by God, whether that's a God that is discovered through a relationship, a God that is discovered through prayer, or a God that is discovered through bhakti, simple love, the practice of love. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this summit. I'm always glad to be involved. I know this is a high-minded pursuit. I've spoken for 7 minutes, and some of those seconds I had a banana in my mouth, but you'll remember there was a bit at around 4.5, 5 minutes where I spoke very, very quickly, and if you want, you could slow that bit down. To, you know, have you ever done that on a podcast or a video? Just slow it down? I've done it. I don't actually. I speed it up. That's what I do. I think, hurry up, get to the point, speak quicker. Anyway, what's the rush though? Where are we all trying to get? Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your Never Alone Mental Health Summit. I'm wishing you all love and peace and serenity from a position of awareness, and I hope we get to continue to walk this path together. Thank you.